Hi everyone, I hope everything is going well with you and welcome to the second episode of the Flask series. So in this episode we will focus on styling our pages and we will also understand how we can organize our HTML text in a little bit better way so we will have a better structure for our project. So let's get started. Okay, so as you could notice here, I deleted the about route from the last episode because I want to focus on the next topic that I'm going to talk about just now. So until now, we raised our HTML text within our routes in a hard-coded text like you see here. Now, when we go ahead and design complex HTML pages, you probably want to avoid storing long strings within only a single file. So in order to overcome this, we have a convention in Flask to a way we can achieve such a task. And the way we can basically do this is by creating a new directory that is called templates, and then inside the templates directory we will start creating our HTML files, and then we will separate our HTML code within this directory and we will refer our routes to those different HTML files. So let's go ahead and get started and see how we can do this. Okay, so I will start by creating a new directory here. And you can see that I'm creating that inside our Flask market project, so it is very important. And you want to name it template. So make sure that you don't give it another name like HTML pages or something else. Just basically go with templates because the templates name is actually a convention to a Flask. So the package can understand that you are going to locate there some HTML files. And within our templates directory, we will go ahead and create one more file. And you can directly select the HTML file if you use the PyCharm. So I will name it home. And then you can see that it already returns us some default HTML code, and just for now I'm going to delete what is inside here, and let's make our font bigger so we can understand what we are going to type in here just in a second. Now again, for a basic example and to understand the process of referring a route to an HTML file, we will basically go ahead here and type in homepage. It might be a better way to do that. So we will call it homepage. And basically I will save this file and go back to our market.py. And then besides returning the hard-coded string like we did previously, we want to look for a way to point this route to the home.html that we have just created. So it basically makes more sense to change this route a little bit, and let's do that, okay? And let's go ahead and call this home page, and then we will close this out and then write a colon here, and then we will return render underscore template. Now you could already pay attention that this returns us an error because we did not import it. So we have to realize that we are going to import a lot of built-in functions that are inside the Flask package. So one of them will be render template, and the render template knows how to handle your requests and basically direct them into HTML files. So let's go ahead here to our first line and import here one more function from our Flask package, and it will be render underscore template. And as I have done that, I have to specify here one more argument, and for sure this will be the name of our HTML file. So I will go here and type in home.html, and once I have done that, let's go to our terminal and make sure that our server is still running, and it is. So let's go to our web browser and navigate to our root URL, and then you can see that we have completed the render template function successfully. So this is the proper way that you always want to work when you organize your Flask projects. You always want to create that directory that is called templates, and then you want to start storing your HTML files in this specific directory. Okay, so now that we understood how we can refer our routes into different HTML files, It is about time to start working on styling our pages so our application could start be looking like a real website. So in order to start styling, we probably want to import one of the styling frameworks that are already existing out there. So the most popular styling framework will be a styling framework that is called Bootstrap. And you may have heard about Bootstrap already because this is the most popular framework to style your pages. And the main reason that you want to use a ready styling framework is to save time by the process of styling each of our HTML elements, because we really want to focus on the Python side of our web application. So you can import the Bootstrap styling by going ahead to your web browser and basically searching Bootstrap starter template. And this starter template will help you to get started with all the requirements that are necessary to style your web pages. So let's actually go into getbootstrap.com like I have already done here and go to that docs/4.5. So this is right here is the version of Bootstrap. So you want to make sure that you use the same version as I do currently, because this might lead to differences if you just work with another version. So just make sure to work with 4.5 as well. So I will allow myself to copy the entire HTML code from here and paste this into our home.html that we have just created. So I will open back our PyCharm again, and I will go inside our home.html and I will paste this over here. Now I know that it is a lot of HTML code to sink in, but I'm going to go over each of the lines once so we can really understand how an HTML structure looks like. So let's go to the first line here and make our font a little bit smaller so we can see most of the parts of this file. Alright, so at the top here, at the very first two lines, we have some lines that should be located in each HTML file. So basically this specifies that this document is going to be within a type of HTML and the language that we are going to use is going to be English. So this is why we see the E and N letters. Now each HTML file is divided into two important sections, or what is so-called HTML tags, and those sections are called head and body. Now inside a head tag you are probably going to see a lot of things that are pretty much meta information or some imports that is pulling the styling, and also some necessary information to change your tab name when you navigate for that specific page. So for example, if we see here inside our head tag another HTML tag that is called title, so this should be our name of the tab that we currently looking on. So I will show the result of this HTML file just in a second, and we can verify that the tab name is going to be hello, world. So one more important line inside our head tag would be this line over here. So you don't want to touch it at all, because this is what importing the entire styling for our home.html file. So you can basically see that by the link tag, and the href attribute is the URL that is probably pointing to that complex styling. So this is something that is called CSS, and the CSS allows pages to look a lot better and more dynamic. So it is important to leave those lines over here. Okay, so I will allow myself to close the head tag and let's talk about the body. Now the body tag is what is really important and what really matters when you want to display some information within your pages. Now you can see that we also have here the h1 tag that we used previously, and you can see that its text is hello world as well. And you know what, let's actually go ahead and change this to homepage so we can have a better understanding of how this is going to be look like. Now when you see the tag exclamation mark and then the dashes 2 times, it is basically saying that the following line is going to be a comment. Now you can already understand that because this is uncolored in PyCharm. So this is basically a comment, and down here you can see 2 more tags that are called script. Now when you see script tags, those are JavaScript libraries that are also going to be important. And this is also a huge part when you design a web page. So you also don't want to touch that because it deals with all the functionality within our pages, so you don't want to touch those script tags as well, so just make sure to keep them in your file. And you can also see that we have one more long comment here, but you can see that we have script tags within those comments. So what that means, it means that we can go ahead in the future and uncomment those lines so we can make use of more JavaScript libraries, but I will leave it now as it is. Okay, so now we understood the structure of a basic HTML file. Let's go back to our web browser again and see the results of this page. So I will go here and close this starter template and refresh our page. Then you can see that already the font of our page has been changed. Now I noticed that I zoomed in much in this page, so I will basically revert this back. Okay, so you can see that the font has been already changed, and this is what Bootstrap is responsible for. So when we go ahead and add more HTML code, you are probably going to see that in a nicer way because of this Bootstrap starter template that we already imported. Now you can also see here that our tab name is hello, world, as we have said a few minutes ago. So this is also something nice that we can control by ourselves, and we will for sure do that in the future. Okay, so I think this will be it about the explanation of how HTML page is looking like. So as I said before, I really want to keep on decreasing my explanations about each of the HTML lines that I'm going to write in, so we will have a better focus on the Python side of this Flask application. But for sure, if you have any questions about the HTML in general, make sure to comment them out so I can read them off and respond you. Alright, so let's go back to our market.py and take care of something that is quite bothering me until now. Now you can see that our homepage is basically rendered when we went ahead and did not specify any extra information after our IP address and our port. Now in most of the websites, if you go ahead and type in /home here, basically this will be responsible to render you the same result like we saw previously. Now in order to handle two routes for a single HTML file, it is as easy as going down to our PyCharm and write in here one more decorator. So it will be app.route, and then this time we will write here /home. And if we want to test this out, we can basically refresh our page, and then you can see that we see the same result like previously. And if I delete everything from here, the result is going to be same. So this is something that you want to keep on your web pages because it makes sense to display the home page in both of the cases. Okay, so now that we have understand how we can design our pages nicer, it is about time to give our page a little bit nicer style rather than displaying a home page. So we will start by adding a navigation bar so our users could have the option to navigate through different pages. So the page that I will bring in here will be my personal website, and throughout this video or in the future episodes, I am going to go into my personal website a lot and copying some HTML code snippets that will help us to write HTML a little bit faster. So I'm going to include a lot of HTML code snippets throughout this tutorial, so just make sure to go to the description of that video and navigate through the URL that is going to be specified as the code snippets URL and get those code snippets, so it will be much easier to you to follow this video. So for this example, to add a navigation bar, I will go here and select the second part of this tutorial, and I will basically go and navigate for our code. And then you can see that as the first code snippet, I have here the code snippet of navbar, so I will allow myself to copy everything here and paste this in just under our body tag. So let's fix the indentation here and paste this in, and now we should see a nice navigation bar inside our homepage. So let's fix the indentation here a little bit more so we can have a better understanding which tag is inside another tag. So I'm just going to fix that, and I think that will be enough. Okay, so you know what? Let's delete those indentations, and now I think we are fine. Okay, so now I will save this up and go to our website and refresh that out, and then you can see that we have this nice navigation bar up top here, and then you can see that we have its name, which is called Gym Shadecoding Market. Now we can change this whatever text we want. We just need to find this specific HTML tag that is responsible to display this text. So let's actually go ahead and find it so we can have a better practice of how we can find specific HTML tags. So I see that we have this text here, and I can basically go ahead and change this to Flask Market. And if I save this up and refresh it, you can see that the changes are affected. Now you can see that we have this navigation bar, but we don't have any extra links that we can click on them and actually navigate through different pages. So to add those links, we have to go to our PyCharm and basically add some optional links so that the user can see which pages he can navigate. So to ease on that process, I can also go to my website, I mean to my original website, and then copy the second code snippet here, which is called navbar-options, I mean underscore. So let's go back to our PyCharm, and we want to paste this in right here where we see a div tag which is with a class that is named as collapsed navbar collapse. Okay, so we will paste this in over here, and once we do that, then we should see a better result of the items that should be available inside our navigation bar. So if we go to our website and refresh that out, then we can already see a better result of how a real navigation bar looks like, and we can see that we have home, market, and we have login and register. Now for sure, when I go ahead and click on them, it should not lead us to any different page because we did not configure those routes yet, and we will do them in the near future. Now, just to have a better understanding what is going on inside the second code snippet that we have just copied and pasted, you can see that we have some li tags over here, and this is a shortened version of a listed tag. So you can see that each one of them just responsible to display some item that is available inside our navigation bar. So we have here this, which is basically a link to our home, and we have that one which is going to be the link for the market in the future. And as you could pay attention, we have in the right side the login and register, which we will configure in the future as well. Okay, so one more customization that I want to apply for this homepage is to return it into a dark mode. Now, in order to allow the page to be in dark mode, basically you have to override some styling attributes, and then your page will be displayed in a background color of black, and all the text that you are going to provide are going to be displayed as white colors. So in order to accomplish that, I'm going to navigate down in this home.html file, and let's make our font a little bit bigger here so you can have a better look. And right after our closure of the body tag, I'm going to open up a new tag that is named style, and I will close this up. And between those, I am going to provide some extra attributes that will override the attributes of our entire body. So it will be something like the following. So we will start by typing in body, and then we will open and close curly brackets and press enter here so we can enter inside our brackets. And then here we will override two attributes, and the first one will be background dash color, and I'm going to add here a colon sign as well, and this will be equal to a hexadecimal value that I already know that it is going to display a back color. So if you don't know what a hexadecimal value is, it is basically another way to define colors rather than just text. So this is pretty much equal to writing here black inside a string, but this is going to make it a little bit more close to gray rather than just black. So this is why I defined it with an hexadecimal value. Now, in order to close this attribute, we should add a semicolon here, and our second attribute that we want to override will be color, and that time I will give it as a pure text, so it will be white. Now, once I go ahead and save this file and go back to our page and refresh that out, then you can see that our page is turned into dark mode. So make sure that you apply those configurations as well in your home.html file in order to turn your website into a cool looking dark mode. And I just realized that our tab name over here is still hello world, so let's go ahead and change this to finalize our styling. So I will go back to our PyCharm, and let's find this title tag that is responsible to display the tab name. So I will expand our head tag back, and we should change this into something that they are currently in the homepage. So let's change this to homepage and remove the exclamation mark, and let's separate those words here and save that out. And if we go ahead and refresh this, then you can see that our tab name is changed. So I think that will be it for the styling part of our website, and in the future for sure we will add some extra elements to make our site even nicer. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that this wasn't too much information to sink in, and I hope that you understood pretty much everything about how you can style your pages. So if you have any questions about this episode, make sure to comment them out, and for sure I will respond. Don't forget to crack the subscribe button and also like this video, and I will see you in my next episode.